How's it going, everybody? True Evil here, and today we are going to be showcasing Joker and just showing you how amazing he is as a unit and why I believe he is a must pull. We're going to be doing this by tackling one of the in-game modes, but before we get to the in-game mode and me just explaining how to make Joker do the maximum amount of damage possible, we're going to just be talking about the team that goes with him. Now, of course, we're going to be using Joker's best weapon, and although his revelation cards aren't going to be upgraded, he's going to have the best abilities for him, which is just more curse damage and increasing his attack. Now, we're going to highlight him by using Tamayama as a damage increase navigator. We are going to be using Tomoko as an attack up stick. Now, a lot of people don't like Tomoko in this game, and honestly, after using her for a while, what I think her biggest flaw is not her kit. I actually think her kit is actually a little bit better than Haruna. The real problem with Tomoko is that her kit is just unusable on autoplay. Usually what happens is she uses her sleep ability on something that can't be slept. She buffs when she should be doing damage. It's just sort of all over the place. And if you're playing the game on manual, I actually think Tomoko is probably one of the best supports in the game, but once you get sort of to this in-game modes, it's always nice to do a little bit of auto. So I do recommend using Tomoko. It's just that when you get to her turn, you're going to have to turn the auto off, which, I kind of like. So we're going to use Tomoko as an attack up. We're going to be using Yao Ling as a debuffer, and then for the final slot, we're going to be using Wonder, of course. Now, how Wonder amplifies Joker's damage is by using this persona, White Rider. Now, if you don't know what this persona is, well, I highly recommend to build it because I think it's probably the best persona you can possibly get, at least until level 70 Wonder, and that is because of this effect right here, which is not the damage it does per se, but it's because for each stack of curse on them, it increases curse damage taken, which means that Joker is going to be doing insane amounts of damage when you pair this with him. And that is because Wicked Brand is unique in that not only does it inflict curse, but it's guaranteed to inflict curse, which is just going to make absolutely tons of stacks. You're going to get the maximum amount of stacks, and it's going to increase Joker's damage to over 25%, which is, that's really good because that's better than an attack up because it's total damage increase, which is going to be well better. And to do this, we're going to be using his offensive weapon versus his defensive weapon just because we want to just do more damage so we get a higher score. So without further ado, let's see this in-game mode, and I'm going to really talk step by step on how to really make Joker do insane amounts of damage. Now, I'm not going to show the entire battle because it's going to start being the same sequence every turn, but I will show the very end of the score and the first couple of turn cycles to really get the ball moving. It is a little bit slow at first, but once we get to turn 2 or so, you will start seeing why this is such an amazing combo. Now, to start off, we are going to be using Lion Dance, and this is going to make everyone get weakened so that we can do a one more attack. And we're just going to always prioritize Joker on this. Now, a little bit farther into the fight, we will be able to use every single character on that, but right now it's just one. Now, with Tomoko, we are going to want to increase the damage on Joker. And now we are going to start laying down the noise with the biggest of bros. And here, we are basically going to be able to defeat all the minions every turn, which is really going to make the score extremely high because they're just going to spawn every time. And it is just going to be absolutely amazing, as you can see. It is really fun watching these numbers just go super high. Now, of course, we're going to be able to now start doing the one more times, and because we have so many stacks of the curse on him, it's going to make it so White Rider makes it so that we can pretty much one-shot a lot of the unicorns when they get hit. And now we can, one more time, pretty much consistently, every character, every time now. And as you can see, it's just kind of funny just seeing how much damage this does, right? And I'm going to do it for one more turn just to show how much damage we can do once we get the Navigator on, and show the big difference between the damage. I don't know. This just is so fun to do. Of course, I'm not going to want to do this all the time, but like as a once a week type mode, it's kind of fun seeing how much damage you can make your characters do. And the best thing with having Joker do the double action, usually you need to have every single one of your characters do their turn before you can use your Navigator the first time. But because of how it works out, you actually get to do it on the last character's turn. So Wonder is going to be able to get the full damage up from the Navigator because of the extra turn cycle. Let's get that extra damage going. Oh yeah. And we are going to just always be doing Wicked Brand. This is just going to make it so Joker is doing more damage, and well, the more damage we do, the better. Now another baton pass. I think it's really funny when you get to do that like 4 times in a turn cycle. Maybe it's not funny, but like I don't know. Makes me have a lot of fun. And we're just going to do one more Joker cycle to show how much damage he can do when it's the Tomoko buff, the Yaoling debuff, the Wonder increase, and the Tomiyama damage increase from her ability. And I think that's going to be super important. And the reason why we're going to be doing this a little bit manually here is because if I don't allow them to pick the correct abilities on a couple of these characters, they'll do a little bit weird. For example, because I want to have 3 different personas with Wonder, sometimes even though we're not going to be in any like danger of getting knocked out, Wonder will still use Unicorn, which unfortunately is not going to help. Now here, we're not actually going to do the attack, because the damage taken is usually a little bit better, but actually I kind of want to do the damage. Let's see if she can knock him out. Nope. But here we go. Now we're going to see how much more damage Joker can do after the upgrade. Now he's hitting 10,000 here, which previously he was hitting low 8,000s. So now it's just, I don't know. I think we're going to do a Wonder hit here before we do the Arsene's chains. And this will be the last hit before we turn it to just finish it off. Now let's see how much of a damage increase this is. Yeah, 17k is like crazy. I don't know. I think this is pretty insane. So yeah, that is a really strong finish. And now I'm gonna let it autoplay and get to the end, and we're gonna see what the total score is gonna be at the end. So see you in a sec. Now, I did auto it for the remainder of the fight because it is a holiday weekend and I had to go do some things before, but as you can see, we got 1.3 million points, which is definitely enough to get in that top 1% of clears and get that 5-star medal, as well as you can just see the absolute damage potential of Joker and why I believe everyone should pull him. And I think he's going to be by far the best character for at least a little while. So the game gives you a ton of pulls, especially at the beginning of the game, and if you do all of the exploration, every single person will be able to pull Joker on their account because, well, I think to pull his weapon and his character, I believe it took me 90 pulls total to pull Joker because I lost the 50-50, and then it was I believe it was 70 pulls total on the weapon. So the game definitely gives you way more pulls than that. I think I still have over 100 pulls left from doing everything in the exploration. So don't feel discouraged if you go to pity and lose the 50-50. Everyone is going to be able to pull Joker. So definitely go for it and don't let it bum you out. So that's it for today. Hope this video was helpful. See you guys next time.